So I'm waiting to get some roadworthy work done on this car. So in the meantime, I've decided to start on this 14 horsepower motor. I've got it on the stand. It's a little bit rickety, a bit unconventional the way I've mounted it, but I'm making a start now. It actually looks in pretty good nick. Apparently this engine ran well 20 years ago, but no one knows anything about it since. So it's a matter of preparing it to get it going on here. A few things I need to do. I need to make a gasket for it. The other one was absolutely knackered. So I had some cork sheet left over from a 390 Ford build I did, and there just happens to be just enough left to make a rock cover gasket out of that, so I can get that done. Need to fill it with oil. It's got a little bit of oil in the bottom and it's very, very clean, but still I don't know what's going on down in there, so I'll drain that out and put fresh oil in it. I've got a sending it here for the engine stand. The starter motor on the 1456 looks better than the 1461, but they're completely different, and the 56 one's seized. So I need to have a look at this one. Now this one rotates alright, but I couldn't get any joy out of it yesterday because the contacts, these have their own solenoid on the back, and the solenoid works, it's, you know, by energizing here, and of course it throws out this terminal here. Now the problem with this terminal is it's absolutely got loads of carbon deposits and stuff on, so I need to repair that. I don't know if you can see in there, but I need to repair these contacts, clean them up, and this one here, and then put it back in and see if I can get that to go. If I can crank the thing over, I can get oil pressure, I can check compression, I can do some good preliminary tests before I try and start it. Yeah. Sounds like it's compressing well. Going for a ride in Fred Holmes 14. Beautiful car. Probably a tiny bit narrower than I'd like, but it's still well and truly usable. A little rounded bit there. There we go. All good. Hang on, I'm just going to undo, just let me undo this. I'm just going to drain this oil out. Don't say anything, let me tell you. There's actually quite a lot of it in there. It's very clean though. Even though it's clean, it's likely to be full of condensation and this sort of thing. Just let that drain a bit. Even in here, you know, there's a bit of muck and so forth, but it's really quite clean and the oil coming out spotless. Get oil pressure up and I sort out that starter motor issue. This side cleans up well. They're just copper plates. They might be, if I can get it sort of to the point where I can test the motor. If the motor's alright, I'll spend money on this, but this won't fit the original motor, this starter motor. It's different. Sold everyone out at the club. They've got their show and shine day today, and I decided to stay home and do this. I've got reports coming up and heaps of stuff to do at work, so I'm in a busy time at the moment, but stealing a bit of time in the garage like this always suits me. Well, I've got the engine ready to check the compression. I've got the stand wired up. I haven't bothered with coil feeds and tack and all that sort of stuff, temperature sensing, because none of that's on at the moment. All I wanted to do was connect up the start circuit and also the oil pressure circuit as well, so I can see when it gets oil pressure. Now, rather than just cranking it over and waiting for oil pressure, I'm going to do a compression test first, and then hopefully while I'm doing that, I'll get some pressure up. So turn the power on, the gauges all line up, and we're ready to go. So we're looking at 110. Afterwards we're sort of warmed up, we'll do a dry test, a dry warm test then. 120. Starter motor's actually giving trouble. It's actually not getting the full voltage. I thought it was the battery and swapped the battery around. Just checking oil pressure. We're not getting oil out of this hole here, so I'm going to have to rectify that. All of these are lubricating well, except this one here. We're showing just at cranking speed 50 pound of oil pressure, so I'm happy with that. I've just got to rectify this starter. I think it's that copper ring. I might take it out and redo it. The main thing is that all the compressors are between 110 and 120, which is grouse. So I'll just check. I'll just have a look at this one, and I reckon then we're well on the way. Taking that back one off, I thought I could sort of slide that back, but I can't. I'm going to undo the whole thing. Alright, so there's no lubrication coming out of this hole, and I found that the bush is very loose and spinning around. In this bush is a small hole which needs to line up with this lubricating hole, so as it's on the downward stroke, it opens up to another hole on the rocker shaft which is pressurised with oil and allows a small amount out. And then when it goes back to the rest position, it blocks the hole off. Now, this is spun around, so it's not getting oil whether it's open or closed. There's supposed to be, there's a little section there, and it's supposed to be burred over in that section, so I'll redo it. I might even, you can see where it was burred, maybe it wasn't burred properly, or there is a bit too much wear on it. Engine stand's getting busier and busier. I mounted this Ford V8 radiator and found a coolant leak down here, so I've sort of soldered all that up and got that done. Got coolant in there up to the top here. I don't know if you can see that. Oh yeah, you can see that. I need a different type of Cleveland V8 thermostat housing, because this pipe will fit rather nicely, whereas the other one I can't get any type of pipe to fit there. Speaking of pipes, you'll love this. The bottom radiator hose is made up of V8 Falcon bottom radiator hose turned upside down and cut, piece of exhaust pipe, VK Commodore pipe, a bit of the tailpipe off the 2480. Then we go around here, universal radiator hose, up to another piece of exhaust, and I don't even know what that is. So it's a long hose, but it's holding coolant, which is a good thing. Generator's all on, it's not going to be wired up, I'm not going to bother with that. I've got to, sort out some linkages, might put an air filter on, I don't know if I'll bother. Distributors in, distributors all wired up, got to make the HT leads for it. Ordered some lovely solid core copper ones from England, but I might stick them on the 2480 instead. We've got the fuel pump sorted out with a filter there. Fuel pump's around here, there. Wired up to the panel, Ford type solenoid, and I've just got to repair that starter motor. The commutator's a bit dicky, so we'll mount the battery up the back here. So that's how we're going so far. Hopefully not too much longer.
What do you think, Mum? Off to a great start.
Like it, Peter? Yeah? It's got a lot more torque. It's much more drivable than I thought.
Okay.
I just had to remember to gear down a lot slower. I've got to gear down slower, but otherwise no. Engine stand's complete. We've got all the fuel hooked up. Electric fan on the front. I don't think we'll need that. It's a fair distance from this fan to the radiator though, so I stuck it in. Around this side we have what looks like an old XR75 exhaust system. It looks like the one I had on my motorbike when I was 15. So we're ready to give it a go. We'll just turn the fuel pump on. Watch for fuel coming up. And it's coming up now. I'm just hoping it doesn't absolutely pour out. So that looks all... I can hear it going in. I just want to have a bit of a visual. If somebody hasn't had fuel in it for 30 years, God knows what's going to happen. Okay. I'll give it a little bit more. I'll just leave that. I'll turn that off and just... I'm assuming there's enough in the bowls. Coil power. Oh my god, it runs. That's the way for that smoke to burn off. I'll just turn it off and let the choke off a bit. I've got the choke up flat out. So I'll just turn that off and see how we go. Certainly looks a bit fumy. Might let it warm up a bit. Tell you what, for 30 years though, it's not doing too bad. There's a good tune up. Warming up though. Oh, pressure's right off the scale. I don't know what that means. I don't know why that's gone so high. It's a bit fumy. It's a little bit fumy for my liking. It's certainly worth getting it going and checking it out. It's starting to warm up a bit now. Check this out. Quite fumy in there. Not in the best condition. I thought I could probably get away with using this, but I don't think I will. I think I'll go with the other one. But all the same, not a bad result at all. I didn't realise that it'd start so easily. Don't know what the story with the oil pressure is, so that's a bit of a worry. Hey? It's oil pressure's all over the place. That's off the scale. But I'm not sure. That smells rich. It smells like fuel a bit, but it's sort of blue like oil. There's a bit of fuel in there, I'm not sure. I might muck around with the carburetors a bit. I'll take this off and try and balance them. Set the mixtures up. It doesn't seem to be nearly as smoky as it was. It actually seems quite good. Certainly the bottom end of the motor's quiet. It is a bit fumy though. So it's probably better to rebuild another one, but I think I'll mess with this one a little bit, try and improve it, and if I can get some joy out of it, it might be alright. I certainly need to... It's got exhaust leaks and all sorts of things there. This oil pressure's a problem. I think the pressure relief's gone, I'm not sure. But it does require a little bit a further investigation. But that's not a bad start. I'm not unhappy with that. So if anyone wants to chime in and give me a bit of advice, that'd be much appreciated. Righto then, see you later.